Hi everyone, my name is Chanel Newman and today we are going to be learning how to create a survey and write a report based on the findings. And this video is going to be broken up into 7 different sections, and each section will cover one of the following. First, how to write questions, which will be about the handout we received in class. Secondly, how to use SurveyMonkey to create the survey. Third, how to use SurveyMonkey to collect answers. Fourth, how to see the results in SurveyMonkey. The fifth, how to integrate the results into Excel, which doing that we will also cover what values are typed into Excel and also which ones are calculated. And then we'll also learn how to graph and how to use the numbers in the typed report, which is the paste special that we used to paste our Excel spreadsheet onto our report. Section 1, how to write questions. Knowing how to write questions is one of the most important steps when it comes to creating a survey. Without well thought out questions, surveys can be confusing and unappealing for the participant and may mess up the true results. Here is the handout we received during class that helped us with designing our survey. This handout pointed out that as researchers, we should have clear objectives and list out all the information that we want to know so we have what type of questions we need to ask while designing our surveys. There are 2 different types of questions that can be used to collect information. The first is called a structured or unstructured fixed response, and the second one is called a non-structured or open response. Right here I have an example of structured responses. So when you write a structured question, it's important to keep in mind that all possible answers are covered and there is no overlapping. So by that I mean, how about let's just take a look at the example at the bottom of the screen. So if you look at the second question shown, which subject do you enjoy the most at school? The answers for this question list off all the subjects taught in school, but also includes other as an option just in case a school offers a unique course. And then let's take a look at the third example, and it says, how many hours a day do you spend doing homework? And now look at the answers. Notice that there is no overlap in numbers. Now that we have that covered, here are 2 examples to show what non-structured or open response questions look like. And overall, when designing questions, one should make sure to clearly state your intentions with the research, include instructions with your survey questionnaire, don't ask for personal information unless you need it, and keep questions short and concise and only ask one question at a time, meaning avoid the double-barreled questions. Okay, so the double-barreled questions. If you look at this example to the left, you'll see an example of a bad question or a double-barreled question. Then if you look over here to the right, you will see a good question, and it shows how to avoid the double-barreled question. And lastly, make sure the survey questions are unbiased. Ask questions that can be answered by your subject, meaning don't ask about alcoholic beverages if you're surveying children. And you should also order and group the questions in an organized layout and test out the survey before sending it out. Section 2, how to use SurveyMonkey to create the survey. SurveyMonkey is an online platform that many researchers use. It is a free website as long as your survey is under 10 questions, and I'll show you how to create a survey. So I go to SurveyMonkey, and the first thing you should do is create a profile. I'm already logged into mine, but yeah, so step 1, create an account. Then there's also complete your profile, but you don't need to do that. And then you can design a survey, which right here. And as you can see, I have one designed already, but I'll start from scratch to show you. And now name your survey. You'll choose whatever name you want. I'll do technology survey, and then I'll go down here and I'll select what the survey is for, and I'll choose academic research. And then if you look here, I'm going to use my own contacts. You have the option to buy targeted responses, but I'm going to choose one question at a time when it comes to creating the survey. And as you can see here, I can make up my question. So, do you use technology? And SurveyMonkey came up with this, a multiple choice. They have this option, which I chose to use, at all, yes, no, because I asked a yes or no question. And I'll hit save. And now right here is my first question. Do you use technology? I can go back in and edit it. I can add, something else. So let me go ahead and add sometimes. Then I'll hit save. And as you can see, sometimes showed right up. And then I don't like how it looks, so I'm going to come back in. I'll delete it. I'll save it again. The nice thing about SurveyMonkey is you can come back to all your questions and edit them as many times as you want. And let me add a second question. So, what social media platforms do you use? And then this is a different type of question. So look, it automatically did check boxes just because of how I worded my question. And then I'm going to want to give instructions just to make my survey easier for those who participate. So let me add check all that apply. And now here I will list off different social media platforms: Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, and there are so many more platforms, but it'd be so hard to list them all, so that's why it's nice. SurveyMonkey has this nice little add in other answers, so then whoever's taking the survey, if they don't see something they use, they can choose the other option, as you'll see here, and then they can write down in that box what other social media platform they use. And then also, if I can choose where I want these questions placed. So right here, I'll show you how to move questions. So maybe I wanted this as my first question, but looking at that doesn't make sense. So I'm going to go ahead and put the do you use technology again at the top, because that makes more sense to me. And now, as you just noticed, I clicked on page title so I could edit it. You should always give a page description to let everyone know what your survey is about. So let me see. I am creating this survey to see how much of an impact technology has on your life. And then I'll save it. Another example of this, I'll go to my other survey and show you. Okay, so now if we look at my page title for my previous survey I did and sent out to students, I thanked them for participating in my survey. I told them what to expect. The survey only has 7 questions and that they were multiple choice and it should only take them a minute to complete. And then I gave them a brief overview of what the survey is about and why I am conducting it. Then I let them know that their responses will remain confidential and will only be used for a class assignment, and I thanked them again. And yeah, that is what your page title should consist of. Once all your questions are complete and your page title is done, you should do preview and score your survey, and then go through all your questions, how much of it, and yeah, just look over them, see if they make sense, test them out, make sure it's working. I'm able to check all boxes. I'm not going to write a response for other. I can unclick them, so that's working. Let me just go through all of them just so you can see. You should test out your survey just so you know what everyone else will be seeing. And yeah, I know I'm going through these a little fast, but I've gone over my survey quite a bit. And then I'll hit done. And then I could either preview again or go to collect my responses, which I want to collect my responses now. And for that, I'm going to go back to this survey I was just creating with you guys so we can see what it looks like from a brand new survey that I haven't already sent out responses for. So let me save this survey. Let me go ahead and preview and score it just like I did my other one, so you guys can see. Yes. Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube. I'll hit done, and then I'll go collect responses. And now I have the option, send surveys your way or target your ideal respondents. And we are going to send surveys your way. So I'll choose how I send them and to who. And I'm going to share a survey link, but there are a few other options. And now right here we have the link for our survey. Then I'll just copy that, and then I'll paste it to a blank document just so I always have it. But I can always come back to this page and copy this link here, and then I'll just paste it to where I want it, or send it to who I want. Okay, now I'm going to go over sections 3, 4, and 5 all at once since they all go together. And they are about how to use SurveyMonkey to collect answers, how to see the results in SurveyMonkey, and how to integrate the results from SurveyMonkey into Excel. So there are a couple different ways to collect answers when using SurveyMonkey. So let me go ahead, just go to surveymonkey.com. So we start off on the main page. And as you can see, I'm already signed in still. And then I'll go to my surveys. And then as you can see here, I have the two surveys, the one I just created during this video, and then I have my other one that I used for my previous class. Let me go to that since I have people who've answered this. And as you can see, my survey is still open. I have my web link. I could click on it, and there's the link so I could send it out if I needed more responses. But as you can see, I have 24 total responses. Survey's still open. Let me see. I'm just going to go ahead and close this. And it leaves a nice little message. And yeah. And now let's go to analyze results. I just wanted to close that just so no one else, tries to answer the survey. So now going over this, SurveyMonkey is pretty cool because it gives all the answers. It has charts. It gives you a visual. Yeah, and we can go through this. People use that other response. I just click responses, and then it shows me what they said. And going through it, looking at the numbers, it tells you if everyone answered. I had 24 respondents, and 24 of them answered all of the questions. It gives me how many people, it gives the percentages. So this is really helpful. I'm just going through all of them, just seeing what I got. See the others again. And yeah, so to see your results, all you have to do is go back onto SurveyMonkey and hit Analyze Results. And then you can go ahead and take your results from SurveyMonkey and add them into Excel. So to do this, I actually wrote out each question and added it into Excel. So I typed out each question, and then I did choices, answers, percentages, just so I was organized while doing this. I listed off all the answers, and as you can see here, I put the two programs side by side so then I could put everything in. However, when I say put everything in, I only mean putting in the choices and the answers. I didn't put in the total amount of people who answered each question. That you could see in cell B9, which if you looked at the top is equal sum, and then I selected the cells with all the answers that lined up with the choices. I did not write in any of the percentages either. I used an absolute cell reference, which is B9, to come up with the percentages, but I had to get the total number of participants before I could come up with the percentages, which I will talk about next. Okay, so coming up with percentages, so I clicked on the first one, which is C4, and if you look up to the top, you'll see C4 equals B4 divided by the absolute cell reference B9, and you'll notice B4 is a relative cell reference, which means when I drag down the cursor, it will go from C4, C4. When I do C5, it'll change the relative cell reference to B5, while still leaving B9 as the absolute reference. And I'll just drag it all the way down, then I'll come up with the percentages for every single answer. And I did this for every single question in my survey. All I did was write out the name of the question. I typed out the choices and answers, and then I came up with a sum, and then I used that sum as an absolute cell reference to come up with the percentages, which is seen here. Okay, now that we know how to integrate all of our information into Excel and we know how to calculate our percentages, how to get our sum total, in order to calculate our percentages, we are going to learn how to graph. Okay, so making graphs in Excel is quite easy. As you can see here, I have two graphs for this first question. I actually have two graphs for every question. So I just deleted my bar graph, and I'll show you how to make another. So I just go and I select the boxes I want. So I have my choices and my answers for my bar graph. If I wanted to do a pie chart, I would take the percentages. So anyways, after I've selected that, I went to insert, and then I went to tables or charts, and now I'm going to choose this bar graph. Let me go ahead and set it up, and then to make it look nicer, I come grab the title. I will go ahead and copy it, put it right in here. Makes everything look nicer. And then looking at this, I noticed right away something is not looking right. Yep, right there. That is because I have 24 selected, which I don't need it selected. All I need selected are my choices and the answers. So now this looks correct. It matches my information to the left. And yeah, everything looks right. And now same thing for the pie chart. It gets done the same exact way. Okay, let me show you. I did tell you that it gets done the same exact way, but I'll just show you what it looks like to make a pie chart too. So I selected my cells that I wanted to use, and then I go to Insert, Recommended Charts. I chose Pie Chart, and then I'm going to add the title because we want these charts to look nice, and we want to know what they're about. And looking at this doesn't give off as much information as I would like, so I go to Chart Design. I'm just going to change that, make it the chart a little more bolder, but it doesn't have all the information I want. I would like to see some percentages on here, so I go ahead and choose that. And looking at this, I noticed the zeros right away on the top. There's two of them to represent the choices a little and none at all, and I think they look funny sitting at the top. And you can actually move them, which I am going to do. I'll put the 0% by the two choices that have 0%, just so it's not confusing to anyone looking at this chart, wondering why that one 0% or those two 0% were just sitting there. I think they look better right here, but you can go ahead and put them around your pie chart if you would like. You can move them easily, but I'm going to leave them right there because that's where I think they look the best. Okay, and finally the last section, Section 7, how to use numbers in the typed report, which is also known as the paste special. Okay, for this last section, I'm going to go ahead and pull up my report, and now let's see, this document contains one or more links to other files. Do you want to update this document and the data from the linked file? I'll hit yes. So any changes I had to my Excel spreadsheet will change in here too. So now let's just go over this report really quick. So here is the introduction, and now the body is all the questions. So I introduce my question, why I asked it, what's it about, how many participants were in it. I give the question, I show a pie chart, or bar chart, whatever kind I used, and then I explained the results seen for each of these questions. Here, just a quick look so you guys can see how the report is typed up. I introduce the question, explain why I asked it, I give the actual question, and I give a chart. Right here I did a bar chart. I also copied the cells in Excel and pasted it here just for a different example. And if you scroll down right here, I did the special paste. So I clicked on that graph there and it brought me to my Excel page. Let me just go ahead and close it so it's completely gone. And you can see that it opens up itself, so I double click it, and right here, Excel pulls up right when I click it. Let me go ahead, go to question 7, because that's a question we were on. And look in here, so I have a pie chart, a bar chart. Let me go back to here, and they are exactly the same in both of them. Let me go ahead and put them side by side so you can see for reference. Yep, they are exactly the same. Okay, now let me show you what's really cool about this pay special. So let me go ahead. Note that there was 0 for the dating apps, Tinder, and everything. So I'm going to click it and change it to 2. Now let's look at Excel. You notice that changed. Now let's go to our Word document. Let me go ahead and save that. And look, it already changed on my Word document. So that's, that's how this paste special works. The bar chart on my Word document is an actual link. So when I change something in Excel, it changes on my Word document. Let me go ahead and put that back to 0 since that was my actual results. And it already changed on my Word document. It happens instantly. And now I'm go ahead and delete it, and I'll show you guys how to paste it. So, oops, what am I doing? I need to. So that's what you're going to click, but I actually need to go back into Excel and select what I want pasted in that special way. So, let me go ahead, pull up my SurveyMonkey again. I'm at question 7, and I want this chart to be my link. So I go ahead and copy that. And now I'll go back to my report, and then I'll go up to paste. I'll go down to paste special. And now you look at these options. I have a Microsoft Excel chart, and I'm going to paste the link. And yeah, that is what I want. And I'll hit OK. And now here it is again. And yeah, let's check, make sure it works. Clicked it. Let me go ahead, close out of it, and redo it so it opens up brand new. Let me go ahead, change this back to 2, see how that affects things. It changed on my Excel, and there, changed on my Word document. And let me go ahead, go back into Excel, take that off because that is not actually what my participant said. And now, get it back so it's correct. Go ahead, exit it out, and it's back to being correct on my report. So it changes in real time, which is really cool. And yeah, so that's an overview of my report. Those are the sources at the bottom, and that is how you paste special.